They tried to be sneaky and got called out live on air. Liverpool tried to snatch our star player behind the scenes, but ended up getting destroyed live on national radio. And trust me, what Simon Jordan said left fans in shock and made things even more tense behind the scenes at Newcastle. Today, we're diving deep into the latest explosive chapter in the Alexander Isak transfer saga and what could happen in the next few hours. I'm Rodrigo, and this is Newcastle Mania, the channel made by fans, for fans who bleed black and white. You blinked, and boom, Newcastle's all over the headlines again. Isak's name is trending, Liverpool are under fire, the club's dressing room is heating up, and trust me, the biggest bombshell comes later in the video. But first, just a quick word. Remember those Chelsea fans who said this channel wouldn't grow because our fan base is too small? Well, they are starting to go very quiet because our numbers are growing. So let's keep proving the power of the black and white army. If you love Newcastle and want to shut that lot up for good, hit that subscribe button now. It costs nothing, but it sends a message. Let's smash through 1,000 subs together. And now, let's talk about the bombshell. Liverpool made a £110 million bid for Isak, and Newcastle said no. And now, they're being accused of destabilizing the player. Simon Jordan didn't hold back. They've got form for this. They did it with Van Dijk. Now they're doing it again with Isak. It all started over the weekend when a story dropped like a bomb. Liverpool submitted a £110 million offer for Alexander Isak. Yes, you heard that right, £110 million. Newcastle's response? A loud, clear no. The club made it crystal clear. Isak is not for sale. But then, strange things started happening. Really strange. The team was about to fly out for the pre-season tour in Asia, a key part of preparing for the new campaign. But Isak didn't go. The official reason from the club? A thigh injury. Sounds fair, right? Injuries happen in football all the time. But behind the scenes, it was a very different story. A few days later, Isak was spotted in Spain. Specifically, San Sebastian, home of Real Sociedad, his former club. And what was he doing there? Training. On his own. Away from the squad. Away from the coaches. Without telling anyone. And the most shocking part? Eddie Howe didn't even know. Yes, the Newcastle United manager only found out from the press. Imagine that. Your star striker, one of the most valuable players at the club, skips pre-season, travels solo, and no one knows where he is. That's not normal. And to make it worse, when Isak eventually returned to Tyneside, the rest of the squad was still flying back from South Korea. So he arrived alone, found an empty training ground, and stayed isolated from the first team. For the fans, this was a massive red flag. This wasn't just a thigh injury. This was the beginning of a possible split between player and club. And right in the middle of it all, Liverpool's offer lands. So now the question is, coincidence? Or did Isak deliberately try to force his way out? What we do know is, Liverpool made their move. The player pulled away. And the atmosphere inside Newcastle got tense. Really tense. And if there's one person who didn't hold back, it was this man. Simon Jordan, former Crystal Palace owner and TalkSport pundit. As soon as the news broke, Jordan was on air, live, and he let Liverpool have it. Liverpool have destabilized the player. One way or another, they've done it. Yes, Toon fans. That's what he said. From someone who knows the inside of the Premier League like very few do. And he didn't stop there. Jordan took it even further, accusing Liverpool of doing what they've done before. They've got form for this. They did it with Van Dijk. They are using the same influence now. And for those who don't remember, Liverpool were caught up in a major controversy when they tried to sign Virgil van Dijk from Southampton a few years back. Now, according to Jordan, it's the same story all over again. And then came the quote that's now all over social media. Newcastle need to make them pay whatever they want, £150 million? Then make them pay it. He made it crystal clear. You never accept the first offer. And he added a brilliant analogy. If someone knocks on your door and wants to buy your house, do you accept the first offer? Of course not. His message to Newcastle's board was loud and clear. If Liverpool want Isak, They'll need to sweat for it. They'll need to open the checkbook like never before. Simon Jordan believes this is how Newcastle earn respect. This is how we show we're no longer a selling club. We're not just here to participate. We're here to compete. We sell only if we want to, and only for the price we demand. This kind of statement hit hard across social media, fan forums, and even foreign journalists. The Geordie faithful, most of them applauded Jordan. They want the club to stand firm and demand the highest price possible. Because if Liverpool have truly unsettled our number 14, then they should be ready to pay the full price and deal with the full consequences. Newcastle are trying to stay calm, but the reality is we still haven't signed a replacement. Benjamin Sesko remains a number one target. A £65 million bid has already been sent to RB Leipzig, but there's been no reply. And meanwhile, time is ticking. Eddie Howe needs to build his squad for the season. But how can he do that without knowing if shirt number 14 is staying? Simon Jordan didn't mince his words. If you're an experienced manager, you've got to put the pressure on. You need to know who's in your best 11. If the chairman wants to wait for £150 million, fine. But the manager also has to decide whether he waits or demands clarity. And let's be honest, Simon's not wrong. Liverpool have done this before. With Van Dijk, they worked behind the scenes, applied pressure, waited for the player to distance himself, and then closed the deal. The tactic is the same. The method, destabilize the player. Only now, the name is Isak, and the price is even higher. And the craziest part? The one demanding a firm stance isn't even a Newcastle fan. Now, Toon Army, the big question everyone's asking. Will Newcastle stand firm until the end? Or will the club fold if Liverpool come back with an offer of £140 or even £150 million? The answer is still up in the air. The club has held strong so far. They rejected the initial £110 million offer. They showed strength. They showed backbone. But we all know how football works. Every player has a price. And when the money keeps climbing, and the player starts pushing for the move, everything changes. Simon Jordan made that crystal clear on TalkSport. If they end up paying the full amount, then maybe even Isak himself says, "Let me go." But until then, Newcastle have every right to hold firm. In other words, Newcastle still hold reins, but maybe not for much longer. We're approaching breaking point. On one side, you've got a player whose heart clearly isn't 100% in the project anymore. On the other, you've got a massive figure on the table. A number that, if used wisely, could reshape the entire squad. And in the middle of it all is us, the fans. Some fans are already thinking with a market mindset. If he wants to go, let him go, but only for £150 million. And that money better be spent smart. Others see it very differently, and they've got a point. Losing Isak now will be a massive mistake. He's our star, our present and our future. We can't just let a player like that walk. And that split in opinion shows just how much this saga is hitting every fan in the heart. Because this isn't just about money. It's about vision, about ambition, about identity. Selling Isak now could be a smart move, or it could leave a scar we won't heal from easily, especially if there's no replacement ready to fill that void. Speaking of which, Newcastle do have a name in mind, Benjamin Sesko. The club submitted a £65 million offer to RB Leipzig, and are now waiting for a response. But let's be real, Sesko is still a gamble. He's got huge potential, yes, but there's no guarantee he'll hit the ground running like Isak did, which means the next 48 to 72 hours will be absolutely crucial. The club has to decide, do we cash in now and reinvest quickly, or do we hold on to our star and risk dressing room tensions? And either decision could shape our entire season. So buckle up, Toon fans, because a storm is brewing. And what's at stake is the future of our attack, the squad morale, and Newcastle's reputation in the market. This saga is far from over. But one thing is crystal clear. Newcastle are finally being respected. They didn't just take the first offer. They didn't get intimidated by a Premier League giant. They showed that we're no longer a background club in the transfer market. We don't just develop talent to sell. We want to compete. We want to win trophies. And that starts with setting a standard. If Liverpool want Isak, they'll have to pay every single penny. And now I'll ask you, fan to fan, would you sell Isak for £150 million? Or would you keep him and let him make history here? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear what you think. And if you also believe that Newcastle have reached a whole new level and deserve respect, then you already know what to do. Smash that like button, share this video with that one mate who lives and breathes the Toon, and hit subscribe right now. Here on Newcastle Mania, we speak fan to fan. No fluff, no nonsense, just passion, truth, and a whole lot of love for this massive club. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Newcastle. Let's go.